Okay. Now that was exercise to relieve the stress in your neck, your shoulder, your back, and also in your internals, right? All which are given by the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve. And it's a very good way to relieve your physical trauma, all the trauma that is trapped inside. The Chinese believe that your traumas are trapped in your internal organs or trapped in the energy line that associate with the internal organs. For example, the anger has to do with the liver, and the fear and the anxiety and all that has to do with other parts. They're all trapped here. So by exercising not just the neck and the back, and exercising also the diaphragm, is a very good way of relieving yourself of your physical trauma. So I want to talk a little bit about spiritual trauma, or meditating on your spirit, or mindfulness of your spirit. As with all of you, we watched the Oscar this Sunday, right? I don't usually watch the Oscar, but I really enjoy this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once, and especially with the stars. And so my wife and I watched the Oscars. And so this year we didn't really watch any other movie except this one. And I discovered this movie called The Whale. I said, wow, that's an interesting movie. I wouldn't have watched it. So of course I watched it. It was a wonderful movie. It really is. But inside the movie, if you haven't watched it already, you might want to make a point of watching it. If you watch it already, then you know what I'm talking about. Is that inside they talk about a verse in the Bible, and the verse is called the Romans 8. It's actually the sermon that Apostle Paul gave to the Romans, and this is chapter 8. I really like this. And now you might say, well, I thought you were Buddhist, so why are you bothering with Christianity? These are silos. You know, this is called Buddhism, this is called Taoism, this is called Christianity, and then dividing that into Catholicism and Protestantism, and then, you know, understanding that they all come from Abraham, so therefore you have Judaism and then the Islam. These are all silos. They are silos invented by those who were in power. So if you look at the history of religion, they were all tools used by those who are in power to control the people. A good example of that is Catholicism, right? That was brought to Italy to unify Italy. Same as with Buddhism. Buddhism is a foreign religion. It didn't even start in China. It started in North India. And in India, Buddhism is extinct. There is no Buddhism in India. If you look at the population of the people who, by religion, it's the very last one. It's less than Catholics. But the people in China, they brought the Buddhism into China, mixed it in with Taoism and Confucianism as a tool to control the people. So if we're really talking about spirit, we gotta live outside of the silo. And so in any case, I really liked that movie. I really liked the verse that in the movie, and I do study Bible, and so I went back and said, I got to study this Bible, and this is called the Romans 8. Okay, and I like this verse, and in there it talks about the difference between the flesh and the spirit, and this is what I've been talking about here. That Chi therapy is about accepting the additional dimension of your existence. That the dimension of existence, it's not just the physical body. There is also the spiritual part of our existence with the chi, the energy, being the bridge between the two. I talked about this in the past, right? And in fact, I talk about how when those of you who does yoga, and you have this called the Namaste, and Nama is spirit, because in the North Indian tradition, they divide our existence into Rupa and Nama. Rupa is everything physical. Eyes, a nose, a tongue, a ear, a body, and those are called Rupa. And they're interacting with the physical part of the body, eyes to the spectrum, the ears to the sound, and so forth and so on. That's called Rupa. Anything beyond that is called Nama, or it translates into name. So Nama state means that let my spirit be in tune with your spirit. That's what it means. Okay? So all the religions are really talking about the same thing, is that additional dimension of our existence. So in Romans 8, this verse that I really like, it starts with this. It says, those who live according to the flesh have the mind set on what the flesh desires. That's Buddhism. It means that our body, our physical existence, our flesh, consists of what I had called the 6 sense doors. The eye, the nose, the tongue, the ear, the body, and the brain. The brain is our flesh. Okay? Now, once you have these sense doors, you have stimulants from the outside. The eye sees the sight, the ear hears the sound, the nose senses the fragrance, the tongue tastes the outside world, the body feels the outside world, okay? And then the brain continues to interact with the outside world. So those are the 6 sense doors. So those are the 6 stimulants. And then what happens is that it generates these feelings that our brain start to distinguish between those who are pleasant and those who are unpleasant. The pleasant ones we like, the unpleasant ones we don't like. So we get very attached to the pleasant feelings and we reject the unpleasant feeling. Okay? And when you get attached, then a big part of your trouble starts because you're attached to it. And when it leaves you, you say, what happened? I want it back. And then you reject the unpleasant, just like the pain in your shoulder. You don't like that. And that's why we say, well, you have to accept it. You have to learn to feel it, accept it, and then let it go. And not to be attached, not to be averse. Those who live according to the flesh have the mind set on what the flesh desires. But those who live according with the Spirit have the mind set on what the Spirit desires. That's not so easy to do. What exactly is that Spirit? Right? So here we talk a lot about, it's like the sun and the cloud. We can't see our spirit because we have so much cloud covering the spirit. The clouds are the desire. The clouds can come down to what we call the 5 hindrances. The attachment, the aversion, and then the depression and so forth. We don't need to go into that much, but you know what I'm talking about. But it's like the black cloud that is covering the sun. We can't see it. But if you can get to it and live according to your spirit, then it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. The mind that is governed by the flesh is death. Right? If you focus only on your physicality, then you have to accept that your physicality would decay and ultimately leads to death. And death causes a lot of anxiety. I should know. But the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. So how do we meditate on the Spirit? How do we meditate on the sun and not on the black cloud? You start with gratitude. You start with gratitude. So once again, I want you to focus on your body. I want you to feel your breath. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. Now when you breathe in, notice the difference in the air that you breathe in and the air that you breathe out. The air that you breathe in is fresh. The air that you breathe out is stale. The air that you breathe in is called oxygen. The air that you breathe out is called carbon dioxide. You took all the nutrient from the air that you breathe in and you exhaust the air that you don't want. Where does the oxygen come from? Where does the carbon dioxide go? The oxygen comes from the trees. And the carbon dioxide go back to the trees. So at least we should be thankful for the trees. A sense of gratitude for our universe, our habitat. But who supports the tree? It's all the other beings that support the tree. So I want you to feel the in-breath. I want you to feel the out-breath. And focus your mind on gratitude. That we are grateful for our habitat. We're grateful for all the oxygens that we can have for as long as we have, completely free of charge. We're thankful for all the beings that support our habitat. Now I want you to focus on your eyelid. Examine that eyelid. The eyelid is like the black cloud that I talk about. It varies from person to person. Some people see chunks and chunks of black. Some people see all kinds of color. Those are the cloud that are covering your heart, your spirit. I want you to see beyond the black cloud. I want you to see the light behind the black cloud. I want you to focus on that light. That's the positive energy in the universe. As you focus on the light, I want you to focus on your breath again. As you breathe in, I want you to start from the very bottom of your spine, rise up the spine all the way to the top of the forehead. As you come down the forehead, I want you to examine your eyelids, see the light. As you breathe out, I want you to come back all the way down to your belly button. Relax. As soon as you breathe in, rise up. As soon as you breathe out, focus on the light and bring it back down. Next time when you rise up, breathe in. Imagine that your light, all these lights are filling your body. You're full of light, full of compassion, full of gratitude. I want you to think about all the beings that are suffering because we have infringed on their habitat. We've been cutting down the trees, we've been polluting the environment. All the beings that are actually helping our survivals are being attacked. I want you to feel that compassion. I want you to bring that positive energy to them. This positive energy that we call metta, loving kindness. Back to the top of your head. As you come down, take a look at your eyelids, see the light. Bring the light into your body, all the way to the belly button. Bring it back up from the spine as if you're emanating those positive energy out to the beings. Bring it back down. Now we're going to learn how to chant. This chanting actually activates your 9th cranial nerve. You chant from the bottom of your throat. It's a very simple chant. It basically means that may all beings be happy and filled with positive energy. Some of you know this chant. You commented before. It's a very simple one. Sate sata suki hantu. Sate means all. Sata means beings. Suki means happy and peace. Hantu means may all beings be happy and free. We're going to start to chant. Start at the very bottom of your spine. Bring up that positive energy all the way to the top of the head. Let it all go. Relax. All that positive energy leaving your body to all the beings, all your loving kindness and compassion. Come back to your forehead. Focus on the light. Bring that energy back to your stomach. And then as you go out, we're gonna chant. Okay? Start at the very bottom of your spine. Go Sabe. Now come back down. Sata. Go back up. Suki Hantu Sabi Satan Suki Hantu Sabi Satan Suki Hantu. So I want you to spend the next 5 minutes observing your breath, feeling your body with the light, circling the light through your body, and then relieving that positive energy to the world, showing your loving kindness and the compassion to all the beings who have supported this habitat. Then focus back onto your eyelid, bring that positive energy back to your stomach and back again, and continue to chant Sabe Sata Suki Hantu. Okay, 5 minutes. This is meditating on the spirit.